Oh, that is so satisfying. Look at that. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Oh my gosh. Okay, now we can actually start one-hit killing them. So if I just... Oh, that's so satisfying. Oh my gosh. That is nice. Wow. And as you can see, this produces quite a large amount of blaze. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you this blaze farm that you see right before your very eyes. It's a very simple, very easy to build blaze farm. I know it looks a little complicated and a little bit resource heavy with all the pistons and redstone and pressure plates, but trust me, these things are all really easy to get, and they're the only things that you need for this farm. Those are the only materials, is pistons, redstone, and pressure plates. Honestly, the only difficult thing to get in this farm is the spawner. You just have to find a spawner. But all the other resources that you see are super easy. All you need is these three things, and you can pretty much just go ahead and start building it. If you've never seen one of these kinds of farms, basically what happens is the blaze spawn, and they fall onto pressure plates, and then they get pushed by these pistons down to the next level where they keep falling and getting pushed down. So this is the most efficient way that I was able to design this without using slime balls for sticky pistons, so that this is really easy to build early game. So if I flip this, oh, that is so satisfying. Look at that. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. Oh my gosh. Okay, now we can actually start one-hit killing them. So if I just... Oh, that's so satisfying. Oh my gosh. That is nice. Wow. And as you can see, this produces quite a large amount of blaze rods. So this isn't all from that one, but it's quite a lot. So if you stand here for a little while, you can get a lot of experience and a lot of blaze rods. So that's pretty much how this works. There are two different ways to build this farm. One is where you don't one hit kill them, you actually need a sword, and you have to individually hit all of them a lot. But the other way to build this is with this design. This is called a pulse extender, and it was designed by a friend of mine named Fizzy the Piggy. So Fizzy actually went ahead, and everything you see that's iron here, he designed, and he went ahead and just built a block killing system. So these pistons push blocks onto the blazes heads, and it damages almost to the point where they're dead, and then you can just go ahead and one hit kill all of them. If you don't have the slime to build sticky pistons, that's perfectly okay. You don't have to build this part of the farm. You can just build the other part and then take the time to hit each of them a couple of times with a sword. So that's always a possibility, but if you do have the slime, I highly recommend you build this version where you just push this and it starts to kill them all on its own. It's really efficient, and it's actually really satisfying too to just watch them die and then be able to just one hit them. It's awesome. So the first thing that you want to do when you're building this is you want to start by covering up this area, just so you can just so mobs don't like get in and out, and it doesn't get all like crazy with... Can I let you out? You want to leave? Leave. Okay. Anyways, so mobs can't get in and out this way, and it just makes life a lot easier. So go ahead and do that. And now the next step is actually to light this up and kill all the blazes that are here, because these guys are going to be really annoying while you build. Obviously, if you don't want to, you can continue to keep killing the blaze as you build, but that can get really annoying, so you might want to light it up. The way you light these up is actually really complicated, because you're going to need a lot of really bright light sources, and you have to place them all over the place, otherwise the blaze will continue to spawn. But for me, I'm just going to break the spawner because I can, and I just know that it'll be on this block. So now that the problem of the blaze are taken care of, we can go ahead and mine this out a certain number of blocks. So this is, right now, this is 1 block, 2, 3, and we want this to go 4 out on each side. So mine it 4 blocks out, get rid of all these fences, all this nether brick and netherrack. You can leave the ceiling, but make sure you mine all the blocks out, just as I'm doing here. Now once you've broken all the blocks out, you might want to fill these in too, just in case the blaze spawn here, because you don't want them spawning and then not being able to despawn or get killed by the system. So make sure you fill this in. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, just so that they cannot spawn in this area. Now it's time for the fun part, which is building the system that pushes them all down. So planning is really important for this farm, because you need to know exactly where you want to put everything out. So this is right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks out. So we want to place our piston in that spot, so we're going to have to break these blocks all that are back here and place redstone along here, place redstone down here, and then we can go ahead and place our pistons along here. And now we can go ahead, well actually you don't want to do this yet, but if you could place the pressure plates, but make sure you don't do that just yet because you might end up stepping on them and then just getting pushed around, and that's just really annoying. So we'll put those down last. Do the same thing on this side, except you're gonna dig out 5 blocks. So now it should look like this. So if you were to build, you would have 3 blocks going out on this side, 3 blocks on the other side as well, and you want to leave this one here. Do not put a piston here because if you do, then the pistons will push at each other and it'll be really weird. So you want this to be 5 right here, 7 right here, and do the same thing. So now you're gonna have 5 over here, and you want 7 pistons over here. The next thing that you want to do is start digging down. So now that we have this part here, you want to dig down, I think it's 3 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, all around the sides because we're going to place our next pistons into this, and we don't want them to be powered by these pressure plates, so they need to be on this block here. So dig down 3 all the way around. Once you have your 5 by 5 square here, go ahead and dig 1 more block down and dig this block out. Now our pistons are going to sit in these slots here, but we first have to put the redstone to power them. So go ahead and dig the blocks sort of in a fashion that's like this, then put your redstone along here, and then you can go ahead and put your pistons like that. So there should be 5 on one side, 5 on the other side, and then there should be 3 on these two sides so that the pistons don't interfere with each other. Once all of your pistons are done, you can fill in these holes here if you want to. I mean, you don't really have to, but it's nice to fill them in just for look. It's not totally necessary, but it just makes the farm a little bit nicer, a little bit more well-rounded. So once you've got that down, you can go ahead and start digging down again to the next level. This hole down here should be a 3 by 3. Once you get down to about this level, you are going to start seeing the underneath the underside of the fortress, and that's okay because we're actually going to build our kill chamber below where the fortress is, and your fortress is most likely going to be suspended in a bunch of air, over a bunch of air in the nether. So that's perfectly okay. We're still going to be able to keep working on this, and we're still going to be able to dig down. So for this, I'm actually going to use stone blocks just to show all the blocks that aren't nether blocks that I'm using for this farm from this point on. On this next level, your pistons are going to go in this block, so dig 2 blocks out on each side, this side and this side, not these two, just these 2 sides, and go ahead and place your, whoops, not those, place your redstone here, and dig here, place redstone there, and place your pistons here. You should be seeing a pattern with how we place the pistons in redstone by now. So do the same thing on this side, and we're actually not going to place any pistons on this wall or this wall just for now. If there aren't any blocks here, you can just go ahead and fill them in with your own blocks that you have from home. You should always have blocks on you. I mean, if you don't, then I'll add a stack of blocks in the materials list, but you should already have blocks on you just in case you need to place them in this farm. Now we have the final level of pistons. After all these pistons, we only have 2 more to place, and the reason that I'm placing them so low and not on this level with these guys is because sometimes the blaze will fall in this corner and they will somehow get trapped by this piston, and since pistons are just technically transparent blocks, they will actually get stuck and they won't be able to get out of the block because the piston just sort of holds them here, and then they won't be able to get down into the kill chamber. So in order to fix this, we just sort of build a contraption like this. So now the pistons will go down here instead of up here. This will ensure that all of our blazes will actually fall into the kill chamber and none of them will get stuck. Place a block here and here if you don't have any, and if you want to, again, you can fill in these blocks. It's not necessary, but I mean, if you want to, you can go ahead and do that. Now, this single block here is going to be where they all end up. Because if I place all the pressure plates for this farm, and if I pretend that I'm a blaze, no matter where I spawn, I'm gonna end up in that hole, which is the goal of this farm, is to push them all into a 1 block hole. So now we can go ahead and create the kill chamber. So just come down a few blocks. I think 3 is a good amount because if you have access to sticky pistons, you can go ahead and build your suffocation chamber. Now what we want to do here is place 2 blocks here. So I already have a pillar, just a random pillar just hanging out right here, but if you don't, you can just place blocks out. But we want to place 2 blocks right here and then place 2 sticky pistons here. The reason we're using 2 is because blades float up and down, and we don't want them to be able to escape the one. So we're going to place 2 there, break this block here, and place another block down there. Now place a piece of redstone here, redstone here. So this right here is the block that they're going to be standing on when they die. So we want to place 2 blocks down like that and place a block right here. That is where they're going to stand, which means that we want to be about 1 block below that so we can stand right here and just watch as they die and collect all the cool loot. We're also going to want to place a chest down here like so, and then go ahead and connect a hopper into that chest. And that's pretty much the whole farm done. Now all we have to do is attach this to a pulse extender and we'll be pretty much completely done with this farm. So this is the design that we're using for this farm. Just go ahead and copy it down. Copy down what you see here. It's not very difficult actually. It's pretty simple. Set this all the way to 4 ticks and that's pretty much the whole thing. So make sure you add a button here. So now if we hit this, the pistons will extend for a certain amount of time, and then eventually they will go back. And there it is. Now you can go ahead and design this farm however you want. You can make a little platform here. You can turn this into a room. Do whatever you want with it. It's your farm. It's not mine. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. Of course, if you don't want to build this, you don't have to. But if you want to do it, you can do it. So that is all that I have for you today, folks. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.